welcome back. Okay, so check this out. Last week, I'm in my kitchen. I remember that I have to go get the mail. So I run out to the mailbox, reach in, and what do I find? This newspaper. It says that a teacher worked with dyslexic children to write a book. I looked a little closer. None other than a good friend. My name is Vin Dacquino. Our guest today, Dr. Linda Silbert. Linda, it is always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
You have done a remarkable thing. You have worked with children, and you did more than create a book. Talk to me about this amazing project.
It was great. I loved it. I loved it. It was like a teacher's dream. Okay. I work with dyslexic kids, and most of these dyslexic children have dysgraphia.
What is dyslexia?
I'm glad you asked. Because most people think it's still reading backwards. It is not. Has nothing to do with reading backwards. Reading is simply putting a sound with a printed image. That's all reading is. It's as simple as that. The dyslexic child or adult has difficulty retrieving the sound that goes with that printed image. That's all it is. And it takes them longer than the average person.
So it makes reading very difficult.
It's very hard because in school everybody's reading, and they're still decoding the first word. They're missing a lot of the sounds. There's actually neurons they have found that are missing in the brain. I mean, people say you have to do this, you have to do that. No, they have to learn the sounds.
So this idea of creating a book with these children was really about teaching them to read.
Teach them to read and write, because most of the dyslexic children can't spell, and they're fearful of writing a paper because someone's going to say, rewrite that, okay, like 100 times. They're not going to know how to spell it because it's the same process, just backwards.
It goes to what I've said many times. This is a special kind of normal.
Yeah.
This isn't like something that's going to stop them from succeeding, obviously.
No.
What it really means is that you have to overcome whatever the difficulty is, and so that you can do normal things like read and write.
Read and write. Many famous people are dyslexic. And people say to me, are they going to outgrow it? You don't really outgrow it. You just learn how to live with it, and you just have to take more time, find different ways of helping yourself. And that's
when I wrote Kiss the Candy Days Goodbye, it was about a boy with diabetes. And at one point the doctor said to him, well, you're going to have to do some very special things so that you can live a normal life. He said, I don't want to be different. She said, you don't have a choice. You just have to learn how to work with it and make the difference count for you.
You know, I want to say, so many parents say to the kids, you're different, and accept it. Nobody wants to be different.
No.
It's the second stage of development by Maslow.
A special kind of normal.
Yes.
It's normal.
Everybody wants to belong.
Right.
Everybody. It's normal. So to say to a child, you're different, they're not really different. It's the same as everybody else.
So,
they just take longer to decode.
So here's a big question, Linda. How in the world did you do this? Do you have special tools? Is there a trick to this?
Well, you have to begin with a really great group of kids, like Joseph here.
Like Joseph.
And I had kids from all over, different counties, different states that were coming to me. And I wanted to have them do something special and empower them. Have them realize, I'm okay. Because they're always in school looking in, okay? You're looking in at everybody else. And so we decided to write a book. I said, I'll publish it. So they all came the first session. It was a tough thing. It was over the summer. Everyone had different vacations. So how we did this was, the first group, and Joseph was part of the first group, they decided fiction, nonfiction. It was their book. I did nothing. And they decided what to do. And then they took turns writing, and we timed them. 5 minutes, bell went off. Wherever they left off, the next person had to come in and start. But the best part was they had to read what they wrote to the others who were ever there that day. And they did it.
Now, we have some props, and we have some people holding the props. So, who are these people? We have
Verna.
We have Joseph. Joseph is one of our stars. Hi, Joseph. How are you today?
Good.
Wonderful. And his mom, Verna. and his father, Keith Sposato, and Joseph. You're holding something in your hand, something that I think you're pretty proud of. Could you hold that up for us? What is that?
A book.
Well, a book that you were actually part of writing. Was it a great experience? So it's something I'm sure that you can be proud of. What is the name of that book?
How We Saved Our Beautiful Oceans.
So you wrote about something you cared about. So I guess that's a topic that you believe in. And now people can read about how you feel about saving our oceans. How do you feel about being able to say, I am an author?
Proud.
Proud. The right word. Now, Linda, in order to get this done, you used, oh my God, cards. His parents are holding cards. Tell me a little bit about these cards.
Because I've been teaching dyslexic kids for a very long time, I started with index cards because I realized to get them to read, they don't want to look at books, okay, so, because that's what's so hard. And so I started making card games. And then it worked into actual card decks, and now we have hundreds of these cards. And his parents would come to every session with him.
Wow.
And we played Go Fish and Memory and War. They were a part of it. They went home and they played cards.
So
And
the
Joseph-
parents were actually a part of this learning experience.
They were wonderful. With
Wow.
the parents are part, it makes it so much
Did they
easier.
get A's for class?
Yes, A plus. They all got A plus.
A+.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's nice about the cards is they're learning and they don't even realize they're learning.
It's fun.
And it's fun and they want to play. So
Wow. So it's games with a purpose. So you actually played right along. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, if we ask him to read a book, he has no desire to do it. But to play a game in which he has to read, he doesn't think about it. He's just playing.
And so Linda, what's on those cards?
Okay. Do you want to show them?
Okay.
They're all matching.
So they're words, and they have to match the words?
Well, you're playing Go Fish.
Oh,
and you're saying,
okay.
I have fun. Do you have fun?
Oh,
Okay? And the kids are so focused on reading it, they forget and they want to win. Kids want to win. And there's over
Yeah.
10 games you can play with each deck. So they can, the kids, we decide the deck. I have an actual assessment. You find out what they need. And he knows, he would go through that assessment, it takes like 2 minutes, and you know what he's missing. And then when we pick, I tell them any game, pick whatever game.
So by playing the cards, they actually learn sight words so that they can understand what those words are. So when they see that word again, they go, fun, or but, or
Well,
whatever it
it's
is.
sight plus they learn how to decode. They have to learn how to decode. Okay, sight words are memory, but then you see a new word that you didn't memorize. What do you do?
So now what do you do?
What do you do? So he had to learn how to decode, and then it helps with the spelling and coding. Okay, and then his dad's holding the deck that he just loves because he got up to that, and it's countries and capitals. And we played once. Then he by the time his parents were sitting there, they turned around
were
and
like,
he
"Oh,
knew
oh my
like
God,
every
he's doing
single
it."
capital.
Wow.
Because he was reading it, he's learned how to decode. He's learned to relax with reading.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest issues with dyslexia,
Yeah.
because you're learning to read when your identity is developing around 7 and 8, and at that same time, everybody else is now reading Harry Potter, and you're still trying to decode. It's hard,
Yeah,
and
it's
so
hard.
it's just reducing that anxiety, and you're playing.
And the
you don't know.
frustration. I mean, reading is so natural for many people, but it's not so natural
No.
for people with dyslexia.
No, because the neurons aren't there.
Yeah.
It's not that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not just a matter of wanting to do it. You're overcoming a difficulty.
Yes, and so many parents come to me and they say, well, I'm making them sit there 30 minutes a day, their homework. They don't want to sit there 30 minutes a day. That poor things, it's like torture. It's like telling me to play baseball. I can't do it.
And not
Yeah.
being able to do it.
Yeah.
Wow. So this must have been so exciting for you to watch it happen.
Oh, I loved it. I
Now,
loved it.
how long of a period did you work with these children?
It was 7 Saturdays for
Wow.
2 hours. That was it.
Wow. You gave up your Saturdays playing ball just to read?
You got a lot
No.
of bagels.
No, he still
Oh,
played
you
ball.
still played ball.
Still played ball afterwards.
Yeah, and I served bagels.
Oh, bagel.
Bagels, and they,
Now,
yeah.
I have to tell you that when we were talking before, Verna said, and bagels.
Yeah.
Verna, bagels a big part of this thing?
Bagels was a big part. Well, how many
Joe?
bagels did you eat?
Me and one other kid like devoured like 5 packs of bagels.
I kept running, grabbing more and more bagels, but they were writing
Yeah,
and reading.
you know, that's funny. Years ago, I had a group of young writers, and the idea was to get them to share their writing, their poetry, and their writing. And the group was called the Peanut Butter and Jelly Writing Academy, because we had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, cookies, milk, and I have to admit, a couple of those kids may have come for the food,
It's okay.
but they had fun. You know, it's that thing, bring food and they will come. And food really does help to break the ice. I have a writers group over at Hopac Library, and they bring chips and cookies, and it just helps you to relax a little bit. Because, Joe, we understand that you really had to overcome tension and the fear of it wasn't going to work. Did it work? Yeah. And is it a good feeling now to know that you really can read and write?
Get a few words.
Doesn't speak much.
Mm-hmm.
So each week they would come and they do. How long do they stay with you?
It was 2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours. They'd come in, first we'd eat, because you cannot learn unless you're engaged.
Right.
If a child...
So they don't eat while they're learning.
No. So we had the bagels. They'd come in at the beginning, and they'd all talk, and they would talk about school. They
Oh,
would
that's
talk
good.
about what
Yeah,
it was
that's
like
important.
when they go into school.
Yeah.
And there wasn't one positive thing, was there? Where I kept saying, somebody come up with something positive. Everything you're saying is terrible.
Yeah.
Their feeling of self-worth, and these are very bright kids.
Yeah.
These are bright kids, but that reading and writing is even in math. It's
Linda,
all
that
over.
is so crucial for you to say. It has nothing to do with whether you're smart or not smart. You have an ability or you don't have an ability. You have to overcome the disability and make it work for you. And it's not a matter of intelligence. It's a matter of overcoming certain things that you were born with that you have to learn how to defeat. And Joseph and the group obviously did.
They did it.
Now, they get little rewards for this, don't they?
Yes,
Yeah.
they have. Actually, we handed each one got a book, and then each one got a certificate.
Wonderful.
Okay, and the certificate that they were the founding people, the founding authors of the Teen Authors Group.
Now, that's what I was going to ask you. This was called the Teen Authors Group?
Actually, Teen Authors Club. We first called it the Summer Breakfast Club. And every session, whether there were 3 kids there, 2 kids there, 7 kids, I never knew who was going to show
Right.
up because of vacations. And each one we said, okay, let's get a name. And we were going to call it at one point, You Can't Spell Group. Because we had a rule that if anyone wanted to join the group and they could spell, they weren't allowed.
There you go.
They were very proud
It's
of
a
the fact
select
they
group.
could. It was a select group.
Now, there's one thing that really surprised me, because I envisioned these 6 children sitting around a table, reading and writing together and talking together. You didn't meet that way.
No.
Tell me a little bit about how that worked.
Okay, I didn't know how to deal with this because everyone said, I want my child's part of this, but we're going to be away the month of August. Another one was, we're just going to be away the month of July.
Yeah, oh, yeah, oh, I know that
whoever
feeling.
could show up, we had 7 sessions, whoever showed up at that session, they wrote, and the kids decide who wants to go first. They were in charge. And, and then in between, till they had to go write, they played all the games. And they all would decide, and 2 would say, no, I want to play Goldfish with this deck, no, I want to play...
So you never really had all these authors together at one time?
Never.
Wow, that's amazing.
And then to illustrate it, that was the other thing. Someone said, I'll send in pictures because she wasn't there. Joseph became one of the illustrators because
Really?
he did on the computer.
Is there one of Joe's pictures in there?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Joe.
Tell them what your name was.
Stickfish.
Stickfish. It was all
Stickfish.
about our
Look at
oceans.
this. Oh,
Could you hold-
wow. And you drew that?
I made it on the computer.
On the computer.
On the computer.
Which was
Oh,
amazing
wow.
to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, please. If I want to get something done on the computer, I call my grandson.
I know, this was, I'm computer challenged.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's very nice. So, Joe, just tell me a minute now. I also want to know about the subject of the book.
Isn't this amazing?
Yeah.
I had nothing. I said to them, do you want fiction, nonfiction? Now, he was at the first group. Other kids weren't. They just had to, when they came in, they had to just follow it. It was Joseph and a few other kids. And they talked. How did you do it?
Yeah.
Did you start it?
How did you come
He
out?
did. Yeah, so what happened? I remember,
The
go
other
ahead.
two kids did not want to write.
Yeah, they didn't want to write. And finally Joseph said, I'll start. Okay, and they had already decided it was going to be fiction and nonfiction. They wanted fiction and nonfiction. They discussed it among themselves. I said, I'll
Great.
clean up my room. You decide. And then, so they did fiction, nonfiction, and then I said, do you want past, present, future? Where's the setting?
Yeah.
And I didn't say anything. They just came up with this. It was an amazing thing.
And Joe, why this topic? How do you feel about? No. This is here. Let me see. This is how we saved our beautiful oceans. So I have a question for you. How did we save our beautiful oceans?
An oil spill got out. And we had to patch up the oil spill.
Oh, the oil spill. Ooh.
They all, each one, I don't know who started that there was an oil spill. Was it you? Yeah, I put him down as the editor because
Yeah.
he was so part of it. By the last class, all these kids go, I'm not writing, I'm not doing it, I'm not doing. By the last class, they were all fighting. No, I'm finishing it. He was fighting with Kyle, and Kyle wanted it to end one way, and he's going, no, I want it another way. They were so into this book that it was beautiful.
Are we allowed to do a shout out of the other authors?
Sure.
Let's do that. Who are the other authors? Joe?
You want to read them? Do you want me to read it for you? Okay. It's in alphabetical order.
Okay.
Kyle Ciccone, Sophia Dominski, Christian Fischetti, Ella McSweeney, Ava Reen, Joseph Sposato, and Russell Woodell. And none of them knew each other when they met.
So
They're all different districts.
you did answer one question for me. Dyslexia is not gender-based. Male or female, and your group was a mixture of
Yes.
both males and females.
Yep.
Interesting. Linda, any age associated with this? I mean, dyslexia is from birth?
From birth. It's usually genetic. They actually found the part of the brain, okay, with MRIs back in the 1990s.
Wow.
They found this.
Actually, that's not so long ago.
Yeah, and not everybody knows it yet,
Right.
which is frustrating, even in some
Yeah.
of the schools. New York State has made a law now that it has to be on every single IEP for any child. If you have it, it must be listed.
So focus this camera on me for a minute, because I have something I want to say. I taught school for over 35 years. And one of the amazing things that I discovered was that when we look out into the classroom at children, we have certain demands. We want children to be able to achieve certain goals at certain times. It took a long time for us to realize that not every child is the same. And some of them are fighting things that is beyond their control. So we expect Joseph to be sitting there doing the same writing assignment as the kids all around him when it isn't fair. Joseph needed special attention. He needed to learn how to overcome a difficulty. So when we push our children and we say, you're lazy, you need to do your work, maybe we need to look again. And maybe we need to realize that not all children are the same. We don't all learn exactly the same. And there's certain things that we have to do to become better learners. Thanks to Linda, we were able to put our finger on Joe's difficulty and help Joe to be the kind of learner he needed to be. So I give you both credit for being able to understand what you need to do to be a better learner and to fight the things you have to fight. Is the fight over?
No.
He still has more to go.
Yeah.
And he has to understand that there's things he has to do. So what now, Linda? What happens now in terms of these children?
Joseph.
Now that we know they can learn, they can read, they can write, what do they have to do to continue learning how to read and write?
The adults in their lives have to be part of it. He has the most wonderful parents.
Obviously,
They came to every session. They were
Yeah.
there. They were working with other parents because we wrote the book, Why Bad Grades Happen to Good Kids.
Yeah.
These are good kids.
Yeah.
Find out what's wrong.
Yep.
Find
you can't
the
just say,
cause.
Joe, go do your homework.
Yeah.
And then when Joe can't do it, you can't say, you see Joe, I'm punishing you.
That's it. That's
You know,
what parents.
no baseball. It's over because you're not doing your work.
Yep. Every human being wants the gold star. Every child wants that gold star.
And for some people, it's a whole lot further away.
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
But with the proper support, he can go on to wherever he wants. He can go into any career he wants. He just needs, and even once you get to college, they have so many things now in colleges that just they can give you the books
Yeah.
on tape. They can do
Oh, yeah.
any book and make it up for you, whatever you
Yeah.
need.
It's a different world.
It's a different world.
I said to you, I started teaching many, many years ago. And when I first started, education was the factory method. If you're in 4th grade, you're responsible to know this material. If you're in 5th grade, you're responsible to know this material. And it was factory. You taught every kid the same way, and you expected them to come out on top. Except that you got, you were expected, yeah, it's normal. You have 3 Fs in your class, and you have 8 Ds and 10 Cs, and it doesn't work that way. And every year, I was always amazed when I walked into that classroom and I looked out there and I realized I don't teach English. I teach children. And children are not the same. Each child is different from the child next to them. So we have to find where they are and take them a step further. And Linda, that's what you do. And I know you do that. You run a tutoring service. You bring children in there. I know you and your husband Al are responsible for so many success stories with children all over this area. You are also an author. You've written a number of books. You are an author in that you have a column in a local paper giving wonderful advice for our children. Raising children is not easy. Raising parents is not easy either, Joseph, right? And sometimes we have to understand that there has to be a relationship. You must learn to work together. I have to give you so much credit. I have to thank you on behalf of Joseph for being the kind of parents you need to be to help him to be the best he can be. Learning is never easy.
No.
So Linda, you're going to keep doing this. You're going to keep working with children. Now, are you done with Joseph for now?
Are we
No.
done? No, no.
No.
So Joseph will keep working with you and trying to learn how to be the best Joseph he can be, which is a good thing. Joe, any words for the kids out there? No. What do you mean no? You can't say no.
Never give up? What?
Yeah. Was it worth the time you put into it? Yeah. And it was not always fun. It was always work, but it was important work. And I look forward to seeing other books by you. And I look forward to seeing what you're going to do with your life. Make it happen. Be the best Joe you can be. Any words for parents out there?
It's been a struggle.
Yeah.
We had a lot of issues getting help from our school district. Dr. Silbert was very instrumental in helping us. It's not all kids are the same.
No.
So
So you had to find out who Joseph really was and what Joseph could really do.
And now he's on a roll, correct? Yeah? Aren't you proud of that? No.
You know, it's true. Yeah, for parents and teachers who have children with disabilities or struggling with dyslexia, you have to work with them. You have to help them.
And it's not always fun. It's frustrating.
Yes. I mean, what Dr. Silbert said, he was tested. He's very smart in every area other than where he struggles with the reading and writing. He's actually got honors math, so he excels in math, excels in science. So he just needs help, and if the schools help them, they can succeed.
We have experienced many, many times in our past people who have been absolutely incapable of doing one thing and excelling in another. Just because you can't do one thing doesn't mean you're not an exceptional person, that you're not brilliant. You can be brilliant at one thing and not be able to even do another. When I tried to sing, it was always a joke. I changed keys 4 times and don't even know I did it. I love music. I just don't have the ability to stay, you know, I'm tone deaf. But I love to sing. I sing all the time. Find out what you can be and take it to the heights. Sometimes you need a little help. Sometimes you need a little support. Sometimes you want to give up, but you can't, because your children will always be your children. Your parents will always be your parents. I want to tell all 4 of you, you're doing a good thing. Keep doing what you do. Believe in yourself. Believe in the children that you need to work with. Every child is worth the effort. Thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for being a part of this. Linda Silbert, you're my hero.
Thanks.
Thank you for being here today. Thank you for being part of
Ours
this.
too.
Thank you for coming here and supporting Joseph. Joseph, thank you for believing in yourself enough to achieve what you achieved. Keep watching. Thank you for being part of One-on-One with Dr. Linda Silbert, Joseph, and his parents.